It's Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. This is the monthly meeting of the Public Art Committee. We are in the second floor media room at City Hall. And I'm calling the meeting to order at 2 p.m. Megan, can you call the roll, please?
Miss Arbitello. Here. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Miss Taylor.
Here.
Ms. Wood.
Here.
Mr. Toth and Miss Christopoulos are excused absences. Chair Jennings.
Here.
So sorry.
Okay, we do have a quorum. I see we have some guests today. If you could please just go to the podium and give your name and either address or title.
Good afternoon, Jamie Taylor, Recreation Superintendent with the city. Thank you.
Irene Jacobs, City Clerk and Collector with the city.
Good afternoon, Michelle Manousis, City of Tarpon Springs, Deputy City Clerk.
You should be used to this, Juliana.
I don't consider myself a guest anymore. Juliana Day, City of Community Advocate for the City of Tarpon Springs.
And your dress? Sorry.
Tarpon Springs, 413 East Oakwood Street.
Thank you very much. Okay. We have the approval of the meeting minutes of July 10th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Graham, second.
Second.
Dawn. Discussion? Any comments, corrections? Okay, I'd like to make a comment. I just thought that as the meetings are recorded and available online in video, I was wondering about the necessity to include the verbatim comments that were made during the meeting. We usually don't do it in such detail. Megan, do you want to
Yeah,
comment on?
due to the subject matter of the past few meetings, just with the things that have been happening, I just wanted to be very detailed and get it all in the minutes.
Okay, well, I appreciate your conscientiousness, but it just seems like it, I really didn't know whether it was necessary or not. I just wanted to get, Diane, do you have any feelings about it?
I guess people could watch the meeting if they want all the comments. I'll check with the clerk's office and see what their thoughts are on it, and how detailed it needed to be. So,
Right. Irene, do you have any feelings about this?
To be honest with you, I have not looked at the minutes, so I cannot respond. If it is in public comment, I mean, normally our minutes are action. We have been doing summary now with our new agenda management program. It gives us the opportunity to click the item and take you to that section of the tape. It could be time-stamped at a meeting or after the fact. But that is a board decision as far as, but if there's no requirement, we normally do not do verbatims
Right.
unless we have to do an excerpt for something.
Thank you. Dawn, do you have any opinion on that?
I understand where Megan's coming from about wanting to have it in here. It seems like there's been a lot of reference to the minutes over the past several months referring to it, but we do have the videos for a reason. So, yeah, I don't necessarily think should be something that's done all the time. I understand why it was done this time, though.
Okay. Graham?
Strictly speaking, as Irene mentioned, we don't really need anything other than action items. However, I feel that on occasion, explanatory summaries might be in order. I appreciate the work that Megan does. And I know it takes a great deal of effort to do that, but again, the individual comments are on the video, and I know they're difficult to find on the 2-hour videos like from last month, but nevertheless, they are there. perhaps as Irene suggested, Megan can consult with how she does it or how her staff does it, and timestamps can be provided.
Katie?
Well, I kind of agree with all y'all, but I would like to have certain items, if it's a specific subject matter that's kind of sensitive or crucial, that's on the table, then I would like to see verbatim, especially if it's something that we're reporting on, that we're following, because a lot of people say they can't, although they can listen to these meetings on YouTube. What is it, YouTube?
Yes.
Then, but they can't raise their hand, they can't ask questions, they can't engage with this board during the meetings. So in that case, they're just sitting there. But if you want to go back over things for specific items, I don't know, maybe I can say I would like this to be verbatim, but every little thing, no, I wouldn't say every subject matter that we approach has
So
to
you
be
think it should
verbatim.
be either verbatim or action items?
If it's either or, some things being that is crucial, I would say verbatim on certain things, but not everything.
Okay, what would be the determination for verbatim transcription?
If it's a subject matter that's that, for instance, if it was said in a certain way in the commissioners meeting, and then we came over here and we didn't hear it like that, then I like it to be read as what the commissioner said, because sometimes
No, we're talking about the Public Art Committee.
I know. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. A comment was made in the commissioners meeting, but when we got over here, it wasn't the same answer. So when we approached that subject here, it became a little more detailed for us to address how was this subject on the table or off the table? And that's a verbatim issue with us. I think if we discussing a matter like that, then yes. But if it's something that's not crucial, then no. So if you
I
want to
guess,
give
I
an
guess the
example.
problem I'm
then
having is
have-
trying to
have
determine
it-
what, Irene?
Kind of sorry, I don't want to
No.
take
you're
my
the-
place, but just so the board is aware, the rules say that our minutes are action minutes. And if you do, and I'm not saying verbatim is wrong, I'm just saying if you do verbatim for an entire, you can't pick and choose what you're going to do verbatim on. If you do verbatim for an entire set of minutes, you're going to be extremely behind in your minutes.
Right.
We have the film. Anyone watching, yes, in this room, you cannot do Zoom. It's not like you can in the auditorium for people to speak. However, they can always send in their comments ahead of time. They can send in, things, an email to the staff and stuff to forward. They can also, like I said, with this, I apologize, I have not read the minutes. I have not looked at the minutes in forever. We have, like I said, we have multiple boards, but I just wanted to advise the difference in that. Now, it's different, like I said, we're not even supposed to do really summaries, but even in the commission, we try to do a summary, but now with our new management system, you'll be able to click item, whatever that item you're discussing, and it'll take you right to the beginning of that. And it's still very new, and I don't know how far, but if Megan's not using it already, we can work with Megan to get that, because you can timestamp it after a meeting too, if you're not doing it during the meeting.
Right.
So I don't know if that's,
Oh, it's very helpful. Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to amend the minutes to reflect action items only.
I'll second.
Oh, I need a motion.
Oh, I'll motion.
I'll second.
Okay, now we can talk about it.
Right.
The motion was to amend the minutes to reflect actions only.
Action items.
I'm confused. You want to go back and amend prior minutes?
Um,
Moving forward, maybe.
Yeah, moving forward. We could let these,
So
Okay, you want me to adjust my,
would you like to?
okay.
Mhm.
So I move to moving forward, having action minutes rather than verbatim.
A second.
okay.
Okay.
All right, Megan, do you want to call the roll, please?
Miss Arbatello,
Yes.
Chair Jennings,
Yes,
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Miss Taylor.
Yes.
okay. Just made your job a lot easier, Megan.
Yes, thank you. If you do look at the minutes, they are time stamped to reflect like where you are in the video.
Yes.
Right,
Which I will continue to do. But yes, thank you.
okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, and to mention that, the way something is said is called demeanor evidence, and I think it's more valuable to watch the video.
Yeah, I think so too.
So y'all still need to approve the minutes for
Right,
July.
okay. All right,
Move to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous? Okay, current project updates. We have a artist statement from Stephen Oliver, which we'd like to put on the website, but since you didn't get it ahead of time,
It's
It
the
didn't-
last section of your packet.
right. So what I'd like to do is just defer this to the next meeting to give you all an idea, the opportunity rather to go over everything. It's kind of rough. It was kind of cobbled together from some other things he prepared. So, I'd like to, everybody get out their red pencils and do a little editing on it. Diane, the brochure, have we done anything on the brochure for the Oliver projects?
Not the brochure, but I do have in there 2 samples of the, actually the signage that would go on
Right.
each of them. I know you all wanted to do a QR code, but I have quite a few reservations about that, only because, if you put a QR code even on a aluminum sign that's adhered or whatever, somebody could come along and put like a vinyl sticker or something on top of it and take the person to a not so savory site. So my suggestion would be, my staff and I are working on updating the public art section of the Tarpon Arts website. And we will have a section like we had before. We did the map where it has all of the different public art throughout the city, and also an explanation on there. And then I feel like we could push it out on a regular basis via our social media on Instagram and just to get the word out, and also Facebook, just because I have, like I said, I have really reservations about putting a QR code on these.
So could we put a URL on the sign? Rather
Sure.
than a QR code, we could just put the URL?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, so first I need a motion to approve in a second, so we can discuss this in more detail.
I move to approve the 2 new signs for the 2 Stephen Oliver pieces.
Get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Now we can talk about it. First, this is a real easy one. In the forward and upper together should be bold.
Say that again.
In the forward and upward together, the together
Bold.
should be bold.
It's part of the name.
Yeah,
Ah,
that was an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay. Dawn, do you have any comments about any of the wording or?
only to add the URL code,
Right.
codes to the signs so that people can look up the additional information on the Tarpon Arts website.
Okay.
No, other than that, I think it's short, sweet, and to the point.
Graham?
Yeah. I understand your reservations about not using QR codes. However, anyone that wants to deface any of our signs with QR codes that take you off to adultentertainment.com or whatever it is that they do, or, buy 2 burgers and get a salad free, whatever it is that it happens to be that their particular QR code that they're using to deface our materials is, they're not going to worry whether we have one there or not. They're going to whack their QR code on our signs, even if there isn't one of ours. So, I don't understand the concern.
Well, I think it's a target, if they see it, they're like, oh, I could go ahead and put something on that. If it's a sign that looks like this and is just, very to the point of what it's about, I mean, you have to really have a malicious intent in order to come up with the idea like, oh, I could put a sticker on there. I mean, I'm just saying that if a QR code is on there, it's kind of like it's kind of like a flashing red light to like, oh, I can do something to
And
this.
on the utility boxes that are scattered around the county now that have nice artworks on them that did not originally have QR codes, they're sprouting QR code stickers.
And where do you go from that?
I
you-
have
you
no
tested
idea.
it?
I have no idea where you go. I'm not game to put that sort of thing on my phone.
Right.
So
Oh, my phone just takes a picture. It's the camera. It's not a
yeah,
special.
yeah. Well,
app
they
or
take you off to the website,
Right.
anything.
and there might be, a virus or some nasty thing on the website, and I don't want to get involved with that. But yeah, there's it already happens whether you have QR codes on the things or not.
Sure. I'm just trying to
know.
deter it.
No, I understand.
Has there been any incidents of people manipulating QR codes anywhere?
Apart from the utility boxes in the county,
Yes.
don't know.
I'm just trying to be precautionary.
Right. Katie?
These are, make sure I catch up with you, I'm on the same page with what we're talking about here. These 2 signs that Stephen had provided us, these for which
No,
one?
we created these. Stephen didn't provide
Okay,
it.
so
City
these are the
staff
signs
made-
that's
City
going,
staff are proposing this.
okay, so these are the signs that's gonna go on the 2
Right, they were-
locations?
Right.
Which one is, the onward together is for Dodecanese, is it?
Yeah.
And forward and upward is for?
No, forward and upward is Dodecanese. Onward together is the
Union Academy.
Union Academy.
Okay. So, the Q&R code for, I had concern for the one that's going on, Union Academy. Because that area utilize a lot of foot and bicycle access. So at one point, we had mentioned, when Bieber was here, we had agreed to put a 3-fold flyer in an insert box down there explaining who each of those pictures indicated, who are these people that's on this fence. So if you put a Q&R code box down there, you can. I'm not knocking it. I'm all for what y'all want to do. But for that area, for Union Academy, I would like to suggest that we have a better method of identifying those pictures that's on that fence. Because you just look at them, and if people in that area is not using the Q&R code, then we're back to square one. Everybody passing by as usual saying, what is this? What's this all about?
Well, we could add
So-
the URL to the sign as well.
But there's still some kind of computer access or phone access.
Right.
I'm saying it's foot traffic. It's the community that you're serving over
So we're
there.
gonna
putting
do-
together a brochure.
sure.
Yeah,
There's going to be a
brochure.
brochure.
Okay.
Yeah,
there-
yeah.
there we
This
go.
isn't replacing the brochure. This is an addition.
Right. We just have to
Yeah.
get something up and,
Well, and this format is format that we've used before on other pieces, public art pieces. So
Exactly.
to keep it
Yeah.
consistent, this is the format that we've used in the past. So, just want to keep it, cohesive.
And if I might add, I think Dawn's idea is a great idea, and that in future for, when you prepare new ones for new art projects, that you just stick the URL for the public art website
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
on there,
Okay.
just as a matter of course.
Yeah, it's a part
I'm
of a
not
template.
suggesting you go back and change all the old ones.
Well, that would come from your, for the public art.
Exactly.
When we have nothing else to do, then we'll get to that.
Okay, so I'd like to get a motion to approve the signage as we amended it.
I move that the amended versions of the signs be approved for installation.
Okay,
Second.
okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Megan?
Ms. Arbitello,
Yes.
Chair Jennings.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Taylor.
Yes.
Okay. Something that's probably not on your radar because it's been bounced around a lot. The Tarpon Springs Rotary Club proposed doing a peace pole project with them. And it's kind of on hiatus and will remain on hiatus. I just wanted to mention it as in,
Right.
current project. So there's nothing, you don't have to do anything about that at the moment. Okay. The CRA mural project, we didn't get anything, right?
No, not
Okay.
right now.
Here we are. Our ladies are up. The city clerk's office project. Okay. In your handouts, we received a draft from Irene and Michelle of something that they would like to see. It's emblematic of a city clerk's office. This does not preclude doing any other art projects. So either one of you or both of you want to just comment on it?
Yeah, basically, we were just here to listen, not to, and I appreciate the Public Art Committee, and I know there was discussion at the last meeting that we found out about after the fact. And I do believe that that project, and the artist, it's a great artist and a beautiful project. However, we didn't feel that it was appropriate for the clerk's office. And the reason being is, it doesn't have to be what you have in front of you. That was just, we didn't know that I know a long time ago, Mrs. Jennings had mentioned years ago before the project even started becoming into fruition that she had some artists, but that's as far as we got. We hadn't seen anything until it was presented at the last meeting. And in the old days, the clerks were called scribers, and the actual we belong to clerk associations, and that is our symbol, is the quail pen and the inkwell. So we were so Michelle had just thrown this kind of thing together, but it doesn't have to be exactly this, and I don't really know how the steps work, but that's what we were kind of looking towards, something that would tie in that it's the clerk's office and what a clerk is and that.
So it's somewhere along almost the lines of a logo or a symbol type thing? So there would be certain parameters about designing something like this. So you'd want to include the quill and the inkwell.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to have the city seal and stuff. She just threw that in there and this was just a sketch for me. She did for me.
Right. Good
Just
job,
thinking,
Michelle.
this I have just putting clip art together.
Right.
And the only reason we put established 1887 because if you look at City Hall, there's nothing that I'm aware of that says when the city was established. And I figured, well, if we're clerks, we should have that. So yeah, that's why we threw in that date. We have the exact date. We also have the old Articles of Incorporation that, possibly, I'm not an artist, so, part of the Articles of Incorporation could even be on the paper. They're really interesting when you see them, and they're very delicate, but so that's all. We're just here to listen and see what the steps are, or if you had any questions of us, or it looks, the building, from my understanding, is going to be a little delayed. I was I had heard that it moved from October of 24 to now January of 25. So we're not really sure where we're at, but
Okay. Do you envision a location on the building for this? It's on the exterior, right, Michelle, or? I think so. Yeah.
yeah, if you look at the building and you see our the design of the building, you can't really tell a lot because the windows and such and things that are on the building are not up yet. However, I think I forwarded and I could pass it around. The outside of the building that faces the Ring Avenue side, we were thinking if we had some type of sculpture or something, instead of being placed on the building, it could possibly go at the corner of the entrance or on the lawn, and I'll pass.
Great, thank you both very much. Katie, do you have any comments or?
No, I like the artwork. Yeah. But
And I do fit in the inside, so you'll know we have a small lobby, and we currently have an old safe. And the safe isn't used like it was in the old days, and it's currently in our office. So we had that door removed. It's getting restored, and it's going to be an art piece inside on a brick wall to, it's going to look really, really great.
Right. Graham?
Yeah, first of all, yeah, the sketch, the diagram, this. The underlying image is actually owned by MP3 Designs. It is generally available for license, and but it is a copyrighted image.
Well, we weren't saying that.
Yeah.
We were this was just a thought, and we didn't know how else because we're not artists. To
Yeah, no,
draw.
I understand.
So
you
that
grab-
was the only reason.
it's a very popular piece of clip art, but we couldn't ask an artist to say, oh, here, take this and,
No, I
and make
understand.
something based on it.
No,
Because
I understand, and that's why they're artists. Because
Yeah.
if you go out to solicit an artist, I'm sure you're going to have different versions of what a quail pen and inkwell might look like, or something. We just, like I said, we just did this just to show what our vision was.
Yeah. Should we go out to an artist, then we would love to. In fact, it would be essential to get your input on that, especially in using your words to describe the society, is it, that you're members of, the Scribblers?
We belong to the Clerks Association, which is a professional organization like
Yeah.
you have for your city managers and other certain city officials. And that logo on the shirt is the quail pen and the inkwell.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, we'd like to get that information and and an image of of that organization's logo.
And it's basically, like I said, just an inkwell and it doesn't have to be that exact thing. I mean, I'd like to see
but
someone be
it's
creative
something
with this.
something to inspire an artist. That's all.
Right.
Yeah,
All right.
if we could.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned to me that the new interior is going to be very kind of modern, so I think you and I talked about possibly doing something in metal.
On the outside.
Yeah.
Yes, our inside is kind of industrial modern, but we do have a brick wall, one brick wall that the safe door is going to go on to replicate and tie us in with City Hall.
Okay.
The exterior of City, when you see the picture, the exterior, they might not have the right brick there, but they've picked the right brick to match the building.
So where is the artwork going?
Probably somewhere on, maybe in one of the corners.
Oh, okay.
Or as a sculpture.
In the lawn, yeah, I
In the
don't,
lawn
that
or-
would be the west side of the building that faces because our entrance is gonna face the north.
Okay.
So that would be to the west,
Right.
facing Ring Avenue there.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Dawn, you have
Could-
any? Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Graham, I
go on.
thought you were done.
No, that's fine. I am.
I do have another question, Joan, after Dawn.
Okay.
I think it's great input for, like, as far as I know, we don't have you know, even a set design or anything to look at. I know we were looking at one particular artist, but I think this is fantastic kind of context to give the artist to say, you know, this is what goes on there, and we would like to, you know, have that incorporated somehow.
And that's what we're looking at, for the artist to be creative and
Right.
come up
Yeah.
with something. It might not look like this, but it might be something that is still gonna create the same vision. But like I said, there's multiple things. We just threw the seal in there to say, well, something could be
Right.
written on there. Like I said, we have the articles of incorporation.
Yeah.
And like I said, to my knowledge, nothing in the city has the date the city was incorporated.
Right. So how shall we pick first, Michelle or Katie?
Well,
No, I'm just here.
okay,
I brought Michelle up if she had anything else to add, or you had any other questions.
being that Graham's mentioned about the copyright thing, and if you do select the artist, so you can also put another picture up there, like the articles of incorporation. You can put another image up there along with that. Change the pen, whatever you want to do, but you can put another image. You'll have enough room on the front of the building to put two
Yeah, I was
images.
just throwing that out there. I mean, like I said, we're just, that's just the concept. So that's why
Inspiration.
Michelle put it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just to kind of what we were originally thinking of. And then it's up to the artist to come up with
Right.
what type it is, or, you know, what, if it's a sculpture, if it's a, and then what it would look like. I mean, that's where we're hoping they'd be the creative ones to,
I wonder if you
Okay.
could even put the articles of incorporation written out on
Yeah.
some type of metal.
Right.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something, in here.
Okay. Well,
That's a vision.
yeah.
Are you going
Graham?
to say anything? Or?
No, go right ahead.
Okay. Megan, could you read back the motion
We
that
haven't.
we're
We
talking
don't
about?
have a motion.
We don't
on
have a
this. No,
motion?
this is just a discussion.
Just a discussion?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, would you mind if I made a motion?
Go right ahead.
Okay. I move that we treat the city clerk building thing, I don't know what to call it at the moment, as a project. We have a location that's approved by the city manager. We have an active and interested partner in the city clerk's office. And so we should be able to go straight to a formation of a subcommittee to discuss the outline, at least, of a call to artists.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay.
Can you repeat? That was very,
Long.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let me see if I can do that. I move that we create a project for the city clerk's office external artwork, and that a subcommittee be formed as soon as possible to move that project along, noting that we already have location approval and an active partner.
Second.
Okay.
thank you.
Megan, call the roll, please.
Ms. Arbatello,
Yes.
Chair Jennings.
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Taylor.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other,
Any discussion on
any
that?
discussion on that?
Yes. Do we want to set a budget? Or is it too early?
Well, yeah.
I think maybe, I'm wondering whether it would be,
Isn't, sorry, I believe it, isn't that determined by the cost of the project?
yes.
And that would be something that the building department would have to give us that, I don't know what that
I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
cost is.
The cost of the artwork is not necessarily related to the cost of the project.
Okay.
It can be fully funded by the project, or it can be, it can cost more than that, and the Public Art Committee can top up the funds as required. You know, or it could go the other way.
Could be less.
But yeah, we would need to find out
The budget.
how much money is available as a result of the tax and take it from there. And I think that committee would obviously be the people to go after that and find out what it is. But I was just curious as to whether we had any idea what the budget might be.
I do not.
Right, Diane?
I was just going to suggest that, you know, if you're going to the selection committee, that, you know, possibly the selection committee would, you know, determine like what the medium would be and, you know, and then kind of research like what appropriate, you know, costs might be, you know, as far as an average cost. And then maybe that's a great way to determine, you know, what the budget would be.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion.
So we would determine the medium before doing a call to artists.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but we need to know how much money we're prepared to spend before we do a call to artists. Otherwise, we won't get any responses.
Right.
And you really need to have a detailed
Yes.
idea in your call to artists of what exactly you're looking for. If you leave it too open-ended, you're going to get a lot of things that are going to be so far away from this. You know, so that's where I think I think that's the main reason you have a selection committee, to determine all the details before the
Yes.
call to artists.
Okay. So Dawn or Graham, either one of you willing to take this on?
Well,
Okay.
if you,
Great.
you sure? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you'll be working with Dawn. Okay.
you.
Anything else we need
Did we
to?
approve that? We did.
Yes, took a voice vote.
Okay.
So
Okay.
before you, can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
When you get ready to do the budget, they're gonna be looking at, you do the call to artists to get an idea of what the artwork is gonna look like. From them, they're gonna tell you what the type of artwork they want. And then you'll come back and include the artist's budget
there'll be-
along with that, so you got two different.
Right, there'll be a selection panel, which obviously will have, you know, Irene and Michelle and maybe some other, you know, people from the clerk's office in it.
And maybe an artist or two.
Right.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure how you're
Yeah.
gonna, is it a combination of choosing how much budget? One with the artist and then one with the,
There's a contribution that new buildings result in coming into the Public Art Committee for the provision of public artworks associated with those buildings, right? Or it can be just thrown into the general kitty. In this case, they would like it aimed towards a specific art piece outside their new offices, which is fine. That's they can ask for. We don't yet know how much that is going to be because we're not yet aware of the total value of the construction. And when we are, we'll know how much that is contributing, and then we'll know how much we've got to spend. Until then, we don't.
okay,
And then
So it's coming from the building itself.
okay.
And then Katie too, it's like once the selection committee completes all their research and, you know, it kind of fleshes out the project a little bit more, they'll come back to another meeting of the Public Art Committee and present it to all of you. You know, this is our findings, this is the medium we've selected, this is what we want to do to proceed forward to find the right artist to do this project. So that's kind of like how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
the
Yeah, there's a
artist
process.
budget to be thrown in at that time. The
And
artist
the
that you select.
the stakeholders have already indicated that they'd like something that is metallic and low maintenance and reflects their professional organization and the origin date of the city and possibly even something to do with the document that of the minutes of the very first meeting of the city. And so, you know, all of that's input to the call to artists,
Okay,
right?
thank you.
So, you know, we've already got a great start.
Okay, moving on to, sorry, Megan, any updates on our budget?
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. I'll be
Thank
in
you.
touch.
Okay.
Revenues through today, August 14th, are $63,754. Expenditures through today, August 14th, $65,540. Our projected balances of today, August 14th, is $145,570. There are no new project updates per Pat McNeese. And then tentatively next month, we might be seeing Cohatch, which is approximately $27,980.75.
Okay. By the way, I apologize. I just want to back up to old business. Diane, you got a maintenance proposal from St. Kate's.
Thank you. I was just gonna ask you about that.
Okay. This is routine maintenance that we do every year. So just as a matter of protocol, if we just want to make a motion and a second and a vote to proceed with our normal maintenance schedules.
And I just want to say, for those of you that are newer to the committee, what this maintenance is our bronze statues, the Storytime, the Naiads, the Mermaid that's in Craig Park, and also they'll probably be looking at the Pelican that's at the Sponge Docks too.
Right.
And so they'll go and they'll make an assessment, of like, okay, what do we need to do? Are there any repairs that need to be done? Does it need to, they'll be cleaning it. They'll be also, if they have to do any refinishing on their patina or whatever like that, they're just kind of doing that maintenance to keep them looking good. So that's what this particular company has done with us over the, the past. So just wanted to explain that.
Could you add me in so they could make me look better?
Okay, I'm first on that list.
Yeah.
So do we do, like, annual, do we do competitive bids, or there's just not that many
not
companies
really.
out there, or?
Very,
okay.
very few people
It's,
do that type of work.
Very specialized, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's really hard to find anyone. Do you want to start a business?
Yeah, and, we've been using them for quite a few years.
It's
And they're-
St. Kate's Art, and they are very familiar with our statues already. They've done extensive work with us on them, and including installations. And they also do a lot of things with museums in the Tampa Bay area, so they're very well known and very respected for their work.
They're the ones that recently repaired the Mermaid?
Yes, the tail. Mhm.
Yeah,
So
all right.
if
so-
I'm,
Go ahead, I'm
oh,
sorry.
we're not discussing it yet, right?
No, we need a motion.
I move that we proceed with the normal maintenance contract for this year
Second,
for our pieces.
Second.
thank you.
Yeah.
All in favor? Well,
Well,
we have the
that's-
discussion, sorry. Any discussion?
Yes. This year, are we going to ask them to look at the new Stephen Oliver pieces and include them in their maintenance?
I think they're really quite new. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you, if you want them to review it, kind of thing. I can certainly get a quote from them in order to do so, to add those to the list, if that's what the committee wants.
Yeah, usually the maintenance is for bronzes, but we can
Yeah.
have them. You know what, Diane, maybe ask Desmond if this is something that he feels appropriate. That might be the way to go.
Yeah, because I remember the lady on the bench outside
Yeah,
Story time.
the Storytime piece, yes, where even though that was new, we did have some surprises that the bench in particular started to deteriorate very quickly.
Because it was wood.
And I would like to know as soon as possible if we're going to have some expense related to the new pieces.
Okay, so as I said, Diane, just make a note to discuss it with Desmond, who's the owner of St. Kate's. Okay. Moving on to new
Take a vote.
business. Oh, yes. This could be, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. We'll just maintain our. Okay, moving on to new business, clarification of new project procedures. I'm sure you all got the email dated July 23rd from City Manager LaCouris, to the effect that no public art projects may be listed on the agendas unless a proposed location has been approved by him. All projects currently being considered by the PAC, with the exception of Graham's project at the Live Oak Safford property, which was already vetted with the city manager, are considered off the table. Okay? Any art projects we receive from outside artists or sources, the proposed location of the project will also require prior approval from the city manager before being placed on any upcoming agendas for the PAC and vote. Okay. So that's just, a policy which you all received. I don't think we need to take any action on that.
I'm afraid we do.
Oh, okay.
I called the city manager because I was very concerned about that for clarification, because it would appear from the exact wording of that we are not permitted by the city manager to put anything onto the agenda without his approval. And I objected to that and asked him if that was what he really meant. And he said, no, that wasn't what he meant at all. It was that we shouldn't allow projects to go any further than discussion by the Public Art Committee until they have a location approved by the city manager.
Right.
Okay, so projects may be brought up, put on the agenda, discussed, and the very first thing that has to be done is to request a location from the city manager.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
No problem.
Okay.
I also, and maybe because I'm new to this procedure and it seems like, things are getting kind of fleshed out here. I had thought maybe it would be a good idea to have some sort of checklist or timeline or something that, because we're going to be getting a new member eventually as well, and, alternates and all that kind of stuff. So I was wondering if maybe we could just put together a quick checklist in order of this is how things need to happen in order for a project to go, and including things like, you have a selection committee, this is who's on there, blah, blah, blah. Just like an SOP kind of thing for a project. And if anybody has the wording for all that, I'd be happy to throw together a checklist or whatever. But for me, I don't want to make any missteps, but I definitely want to be involved, and, having a little guideline ahead of time would be really helpful for me and probably any new members.
Diane, I think we did something like that a while ago. I think it probably go through our files and see whether it still exists, but that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Because you just start taking stuff for granted, and when new people come on, you have to bring them up to speed.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's okay. Graham, if you don't mind, can I switch you with the Recreation Department project?
Please do.
Jamie, you're up.
Da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da.
Well, similar to Irene, here to field any questions. Ms. Taylor did bring up the idea of the mural on the facility over on Walton Avenue, our community center. I shared with her a similar concept that was done at a recreation center I worked at out in Colorado. That had a large blank canvas kind of view to it, and previously, before the mural went up, everyone didn't know what the building was from the backside, which was a walking area from the downtown area. Not opposed to the idea and the concept. Do want to be involved if this spot is chosen and location is chosen. The first image I sent was not an up-to-date image. There is a generator that is now adjacent to that wall, and we have moved there was a bunch of kayaks that we got rid of, and some trees there that have been removed as well. So have you guys seen the current view of it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So,
That's the old one, then this is the new one, it's on a sheet by
I
itself.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
so this is the viewpoint from back driveway towards the dumpsters there that you would see from Lime Avenue. The south side of the building, the other side, does have that same size wall with the gymnasium, but it does not have any, there's not like a viewpoint from the roads or anything like that, and you know, it just would not be noticed. I don't believe. Front side of the building, there's an image of that as well. We have siding. There's a lot of different angles on the facility as far as roofing angles and entryway, and I don't believe that would be, in my opinion, and I am not an artist, I don't believe it would fit well. We are receiving a grant for $100,000 to update our parking lot and our sign at the corner of Lime and Walton. That will be like a landmark marquee sign that will be able to let people know of the programs that we offer, let people know about any emergency things that are going on, or if there's other events going on in the city at the time, and we'll be able to update that in real time. And I think between the new sign on the corner of the lot and the updated parking lot and cleaned up, I think we'll have a nice view from the main entrance. This side here, I think this is the best of what would be available for our facility. As you can see, there is, you know, there's some stuff going on between the dumpsters, the fence, the generator, and the sheds. But I'd leave that up to you if you do decide to move forward with that wall.
Okay, that white object is the generator?
Correct.
Okay, so that stays, right?
Correct.
That's off limits.
They do need a generator, okay.
Yeah.
And then these are dumpsters,
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
certainly.
The building with the generator up against it.
Yep.
That is what?
That's our gymnasium,
That's the
our
gymnasium.
basketball court
Okay.
there. So
And the building to the left by the dumpsters.
that is the north side of our main hall.
Okay. So if we were going to go ahead with something here, you know, looking at its location and visibility from the street and how far it is and so on, something over both of those surfaces would be quite spectacular. And especially if it incorporated the dumpsters, preferably not with a fire scene.
When you mentioned the boxes on the corners, the county boxes, electrical boxes, and all that, that's kind of where my mind went to. Of like, all right, well, this could, you know, blend into it of sorts. And
Yeah.
you know, I not opposed to any of those ideas. I'm not sure on the vinyl siding as far as ability to work with, but you know, I'm sure someone else knows better than I on
It's
that.
just as easy as any other surface. You just have to prepare it.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't know if
Yeah.
the lines, yeah, horizontal lines on there going across would present an issue, but not opposed to, you know, it's a fun building on the inside. It should look like a little bit of fun on the outside. So I appreciate the opportunity and ability to discuss, you know, any upgrades to the facility.
Yeah. Luckily, actually doing it's not my problem. Just
Get on the scaffolding.
yeah.
Okay, would it be possible to paint the generator?
So I am not 100% sure on that. That is less than a year old. We just spent $250,000 on it. I would need to talk with those folks and whether it be a wrap or whether it be painting it. There are some warranty stuff that we have going on, and you know,
Gotcha.
kind of like a car, if you wash it, then you void your warranty kind of thing. So, you know, I'm not. I can find out for you. I'll look
Okay.
into that.
And another question is, you don't have to get this to us today, obviously, but I'd like to know the square footage,
Yeah, the dimensions.
Yeah, the dimensions.
dimensions of the, you know, and then including the dumpsters, because many, many moons ago, we did have projects to paint dumpsters.
We did. Yes.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend including the two sheds.
no,
No. The dumpster enclosure and the two walls.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think this looks like a great project.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to
Certainly
ask,
brighten up that street.
I wanted to ask, being that this is my first time ever working on such a thing, can I be your understudy? For you to train me on what you're gonna do with this project. So if I ever encountered this, then I would have a clue of what should be done. So if I can walk through this with you on your guidance, because you're in charge of this project, sound like it. So
No, I'm not in charge of it. You're in
Okay,
charge of it.
No. You're in charge.
Yeah,
No,
you-
she can't be because she's still an alternate.
Oh, right, you're still an alternate.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But what about Sunshine?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't
can't-
work
that's-
on
We
it together.
can't collaborate. That's the problem. Because we
real
can only
pain.
collaborate inside this meeting.
You can't do it outside because you're the sunshine law.
And because this is all going to be voted on.
The checklist that Dawn suggested would be, I think, really helpful
Yeah.
to follow the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're here, I think your budget of 3,500 is not
Gonna be enough.
going to be anywhere close.
Not if you
Not
did.
for something this size.
Yeah, that's just a guesstimate. I was just
Yeah.
having something to put on paper.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I understand. You've got to put a number down.
Right. And I also don't think that the applique would work for this either.
No.
Did you want to do a motion to?
Before you do one, can I ask
Do we
a
have?
question?
Go on.
Of Jamie.
Yeah.
You were saying you had $100,000 budget for the parking lot and the marquee. So the parking lot around this scene here, would
No,
you
it's
be
the
able?
other side of the building.
But you're gonna be putting something on this side right here. But I mean, this ground, the ground. It's not a parking lot, but it's a little driveway.
That was
Would you be
not,
able to enhance that? when they do it?
potentially, that was not listed in our grant application that we put together. But that said, we do have staff within the city that I could talk with and say, hey, is there opportunity to improve in XYZ? I mean, would it be available for that?
Okay.
When we put the mural up at Riverside, at the sports field up there.
Yep.
By magic, a few weeks later, they started working on the parking lot that was in front of it, and now it's really nice. Yeah, it's just magic.
It's all magic.
I'm just gonna throw something out, but looking at what you're talking about, the breadth of, the buildings and everything, it would be cool to kind of like where the gate and all that stuff is to have some color spilling out, of that on the ground.
Yeah.
Just kind of like you said, Jamie, the fun aspect of it, in kind of like a splash of paint. It didn't have to be all the way through, but just kind of like a threshold, to what's beyond,
Yeah.
It could be kind of cool.
Well,
That'd be neat.
in
the
case
same
anybody
thing for the-
objects to it, I could take this on because I don't know whether,
Oh, good.
Awesome.
because I don't know what Bieber and Nick would,
I have another question for you too, on the
Sure.
generator. When you do the art for the building, maybe you can incorporate white so that that generator would blend in with your artwork.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, Katie. That's a great idea. Just have it something that is white, maybe a house or,
We're going to need to provide a lot of dimensions, some more close-up photographs, and some very specific instructions as to what to do with utility items like drain pipes and the generator and the general surroundings for the call to artists to do this, because it's not like a regular mural, a small mural. We're going to
Right,
have to
it's
put
kind
out a
of
call to, you're going to have to
multifaceted.
go to a call to artists.
oh, total.
So I move that we take this project to the next step, that we create a formal project for it. We have a location, we have an active and interested partner.
the location was approved, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we need to move it to the next step, which is to form a committee to do to find a budget and report back here before they do a call to artists.
Right.
Well, not form a committee, no,
Selection committee.
Yeah, you need a selection committee for this.
not yet,
Not yet.
not yet, no.
Well,
No,
first we
whoever's-
need more information from Jamie.
Yes,
And I'm sure
exactly.
that there are things on your phone where you can just to do all those, mention.
Someone good with phones can figure it out, yeah.
Yeah,
So moving
You're a
along.
leader.
So the motion is to turn the
Turn Katie's proposal.
the Parks and Recreation building murals into a formal project. And that project will be run by Joan initially,
right.
and we'll report back next month.
A second.
Okay, any further discussion on this?
No.
Okay.
Do a vote.
Yeah, so, Jamie, maybe at some point, maybe Diane can just send you my contact information, cell, and,
Yeah, I'll get in touch with you.
right?
Would you like to vote?
Let's do a vote.
Oh, yes. All in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. Okay, you're gonna get a mural on your building.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
A fun one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie, for your initiative on this.
Yeah.
Great job, my young lady. Okay. All right, let's see, moving along, Graham. Harmony in the Grove.
Okay, well, I move that we make the Harmony in the Grove project a formal project and take it to its next steps.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
We'll take a voice vote on this one.
Aye.
Roll call.
You mean a roll call?
Roll call, I'm sorry.
Motion to make the Harmony in the Grove a formal project and take it to the next steps. Ms. Arbitello,
Yes.
Chair Jennings,
Yes,
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Taylor.
Yes.
okay. Before we launch into this, I know you've probably been prowling around the site, but you know that they're building the pickleball courts.
Yes.
And I was just wondering if that affects your vision in any way.
I understand that they're going here.
Correct.
So no.
Okay,
Where are they going? Down here?
yeah, if you drive by, you see they're pretty far
Yeah,
along,
yeah,
actually.
south of the Oval.
Okay.
Yeah, in that grassy area there.
Gotcha.
Okay. The Oval is what has been approved by City Manager Licouris. Okay. So before we go any further with this, before I form a committee and ask for people to come and join it, I need the Public Art Committee to give me a budget. Already explained in the meetings in last month's meeting that we could spend anything from 50,000 to a couple of million. But I don't propose to spend either the smallest amount or the largest amount. That my research looking at similar kinds of projects around the country, and they are available online, and I did look at a lot of them. The average would seem to be somewhere between 80 and 150,000. And I thought that 100,000 was a nice round number. So I picked it out of the air, or my hat.
Okay,
So that's where that number came from. So I hope you all read this and looked at it and have thought about it.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
The proposal seems really open-ended, for interpretation, kind of like what we did for the Stephen Oliver one. So it kind of runs the gamut on what the media would be and vision and things like that. So I guess my question is, are you going to try to tie it somehow to Tarpon Springs, or are you just going to leave it pretty open-ended, when the call to artists?
I'm hoping that the people that I ask to be on the committee will be strong and have opinions, and that whatever I'm thinking will be completely overridden by people who know a lot better than I do.
So you're intending to kind of like flesh it out a little?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, that's all.
Yeah, the one thing I was wondering about is the honoraria. I think giving 5 of them out of 2,000 might be a bit excessive. I think maybe get it down to the final 2.
Or 3.
Or 3. I like
Well, we're still, I'm tight with the money.
I know. It's just that if you give it to 2, then you've got an either or, and that's kind of tough sometimes. But if you have 3, then
You have an either or.
you have an either or, and the reason that people put down things like 5 selected artists is because they know that they're going to be negotiated down and hope for 3.
Okay, but you still want to stick with your 5 at 2,000 apiece.
No, I'm willing
Okay.
to go to 3.
Okay, but not to 2.
I don't think
I would say 3 would be better than
2 is really advisable. I think
Okay,
3
but
is
then
better.
do you want to stick with 2? That's kind of high,
2,000.
unless you're asking for maquettes and,
No,
prototypes and-
I'm thinking this is going to be a significant piece of art. It's going to occupy a fair space in the city. I think its selection and execution are going to be important. I think this is going to be a signature piece. And so, yeah, I think asking people to do detailed proposals and being prepared to pay for those detailed proposals is going to get us a better solution than otherwise.
For that 2,000, could we say that we need like a physical mock-up, like a physical?
oh, that's what I meant about
Prototype.
maquette, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if it's going to be a sculpture, then a sculptor is going to produce at least something like a balsa wood model,
Yeah.
and take photo. If they live 5,000 miles away, they're going to take photographs of it and do a 3D walk around of it and things like that for that
Yeah.
kind of money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No, excuse me. One of the things I was going to suggest is, when we put the call to artists out for the Black Heritage project, the proposals that we got back, we can look back on some of those, the selection, I can give those to the selection committee, and they could kind of see what these different artists with different medium had kind of like given us, to evaluate. And that might help you to come up with a bullet point list of,
Yeah.
for this $2,000, this is what we expect you to give us, just to
Yeah,
detail it out.
because I think I think that what we get from a placemaking project, if one of those is proposed, where the whole space is occupied with something, and I don't know what that would be, I would imagine that would be a completely different treatment from, say, a sculptural item or
Or it
you
could be a
know,
combo.
or something
something.
whimsical. I just don't know. And yeah,
Diane,
but yeah.
excuse me, Diane, it might be a good idea to send, the call to artists for the, Black Heritage Project, to everybody, just give them an idea as to what went out for that one.
Yeah, I'd love to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we got back is Diane and I were dying. I think the last week we got 14 proposals,
Yeah.
so.
It's going to be a lot to email. I mean, it's going to be a lot to email all of those proposals to everybody, but maybe this selection committee can get a copy of them, whoever your selection committee is, kind of thing.
What I'm hoping is that we will be able to, the selection committee will follow my guidance and put a lot of information, a lot of data on a website or a web page under the Tarpon Arts, private part of the Tarpon Arts, and we just give the URL to artists so that they can
Good
go
idea.
through all of the documentation, lots of photographs of the site,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
and that sort of thing, because there's no point in sending it out to everybody if we can just put it up online and let them access it.
Right.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, because what we did last time was we sent out a proposal because, of course, the call to artists, you're paying by the word. So, you know, try to
Cafe is
keep,
very expensive.
it's very expensive. So what we did was we created a separate PDF. So in other words, if you had an interested artist, they could just request the PDF.
Yeah.
And then that had the details of, it had, the antique photographs, a lot of historical data and that kind of stuff for them to work from.
Yeah.
So that was one other thing I think that made, a lot more manageable.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, because the
Well, that's what I'm thinking,
Right.
something like that along those lines, either,
an addendum, thank you.
yeah.
We created an addendum. So.
So do we need to do a motion and vote on anything at this point?
Well, I think we could do a motion to just,
Well, I asked for approval to
Budget.
continue and
right,
we need a roll call on
roll
that.
call.
We did a roll call too.
All right, we're done.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, we're done. All right, I think we all need
Did we
caffeine.
all,
Carry on.
We need caffeine.
did we say yes, Megan, or?
Yes, the last motion was motion to make the Harmony in the Grove a formal project and take to the next steps, and it was unanimous, and then you all discussed.
Okay, and there were no significant changes.
The 5 to 3
Yeah,
for the
just 5 to
honorarium.
Okay,
Yeah, it just
that's a
might, yeah,
significant change, yeah.
okay.
Okay,
And-
I,
Around 100,000 is still what we're aiming for.
is 100,000 okay budget-wise for,
Yeah,
talking
because
points.
people will also come back and, the artists will say, I propose to do this, but I can only do it for 150, or I can bring this in for 75. So we do have wiggle room on the budget. So, but you're right, you have to give them a ballpark.
And maybe in your proposal, or a call to artists, if you decide that, you're going to do an allowance for supplies, you'll have to decide on that too, if that's over and above the 100,000, or if that's, included in the 100,000,
Yeah.
the supplies.
I would think that would be included.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't-
you
yeah,
never
this-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you-
$100,000
this
is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I know, but some of these upper tier artists, they have different expectations than,
Well, they can ask.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
They can
Well,
ask.
Right.
They
Well,
can certainly ask.
Right, I approached a very good friend of mine in New York who specializes in African-American statuary. She's very well thought of, and I was thinking about her initially to do the Black Heritage Project. And I called her up and we were on the phone for a while, and I told her the budget and took 10 minutes to stop laughing. She said, I'd be surprised if you got any, proposals at all, because it was, such a low dollar amount. But, it depends on the artist and the project and,
That's New York City and this is Tarpon Springs.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I said, I did canvas, I did look online at all of the current open calls and recently awarded projects, and they are all over the map, and it does depend where you are and so on.
Materials.
Yeah,
are huge,
and what kind of materials that and how big and so on. There
Yeah.
are all kinds of inputs to that, and
other-
all we can do is describe what we have available and send it out there.
Yep.
Right. Another thing we have to consider too is, use of AI and computer graphics. See how that plays into it in terms of cost.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm not sure I really want an AI designed thing,
thank you.
and I'm hoping that my committee agrees to put into the call to artists that AIs need not apply.
Right. All right, Miss Katie, over to you.
I'm all for this project, so.
No, you're next on the agenda.
New locations
okay.
for the murals.
Trying to wiggle out of it, huh?
No, we were moving on.
Yeah, as far as the locations, I have sent Mark an email asking him to provide me the departments that I can check with to find these locations. So I'm having to wait until September because he's very busy. I'll bring this back for September's meeting when I get locations down.
Great, thank you for taking the initiative. I understand how busy he is.
And Katie, I will also tell you that on today's, every Wednesday, we have a staff meeting at 10 o'clock, and Mark did talk to all the directors of all the departments and said, please to send, if they had any locations on their buildings or whatever that might be feasible, to get those, get that information to him. So I'm sure he'll be in touch.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It's
Okay.
always good to know he's paying attention, right?
Yeah. Okay, can I get a motion to defer Katie's report to September?
I move. So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Or Katie's in favor? Okay, staff committee, public comments and announcements. Staff?
I just gave you all our current brochure, if in case you didn't receive one in the mail or whatever, or picked one up at the library or the chamber or the Heritage Museum, and also an invitation to our kickoff party. It's going to be a 70s theme disco, and that's on the 24th from 1 to 4. We're going to have a live band and refreshments and things like that. So it's really fun. You know, whether you buy tickets or not, it's just a good time. So if you're free, come on by.
Okay. Megan, anything?
No, thank you.
Okay. Dawn?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna say right off the bat that I'm excited to chair the city clerk committee, whatever group that I'm putting together, but I will need a little bit of hand holding. So I'm open to any and all suggestions, and I guess I'll just start with Irene Jacobs, but
Yeah, that's your
Okay.
best bet.
okay.
Graham? You've got your-
Yeah, I have a new theater that's opening to the public for the first time next Thursday evening.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, bravo.
With a play called Academia Nuts by Greg Kreutz. It's a lunatic college farce set in New England, and it's just crazy. That'll be running for 3 weeks, and so we're having a soft opening on Thursday, August the 22nd, and a bit of a whiz bang opening on August the 31st, and you know, I'd like you all to come and see what we're doing sometime if you
Okay.
like.
Where's it at?
It's in Clearwater at the corner of it's in the Sunset Square Shopping Center, which is the corner of Sunset Point Road and North Highland.
What's the name of it?
Theater 4,
Oh, yeah.
FOR, as in theater for whatever you like.
Or whatever.
Yeah, theater for
Awesome.
life, theater for everyone,
August 22nd.
theater for fun.
Yes.
August
Also,
22nd.
I
Yeah,
had that,
and
and I
the,
forgot.
yeah, and the website is theater4.com.
I even had it written down and I forgot.
Okay, Katie, any comments?
Well, I had a couple of questions. One was, Megan, you gonna cross train with Irene on that new software for the quick action stuff so she can shoot that to the
Yes.
point where
So
you
I
can,
will learn the Civic Plus time stamping mechanism. Diane and I we have everything on the Civic Plus that you guys can access, but we're still printing everything out
okay.
for you as well. So it's kind of like double duty a little bit. But I'll still continue to timestamp like these paper minutes so that you can see where the discussion happens. But I'll figure it out with Irene. And then what that just will entail is that when you go onto the Civic Plus, you would find those stamps.
All the committees and boards are going, and the BOC for that matter, of course, you know, the agendas, everything is going to this new software that we're all learning how to use. And so that's why when you did receive, the information today, how I always put it like separately and everything, and it's very long and lengthy. You have to open every single one. It's nice because if we have all the information ahead of time, we can put it on Civic Plus, and then it makes it a PDF that you can just scroll through and see everything. And I think that's a lot easier for you to open one, attachment as opposed to 10, because we always have a lot of, now anything that comes in after we put the agenda on Civic Plus, then, you'll get another attachment, or else we'll bring it to the meeting and put it in your, handout folder, because sometimes we get things, later after we do that. So anyway, that's kind of like the new procedure.
And just to add, like when Irene's, the reason they are so long is that I didn't just make one section. I kept it all consistent. Like I wasn't going to just do one conversation and leave one conversation undetailed. So
Right.
you got it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be a lot easier next month.
Thank
Katie,
you.
you had another question?
Yeah, three more. Hopefully they roll as quick. Diane, you mentioned about St. Kitts maintenance and the sculptures. So will the sculpture that's on the corner of MLK and Gross on Union Academy property, will that be maintenanced?
Well, that is, as what St. Kate's does is they do, they clean them, they do that sort of thing. They don't do the landscaping. The city is responsible for doing the landscaping and any other thing like that. But that's one of the things that I'm going to ask St. Kate's, because that's not on our maintenance agreement yet. The sculptures are new now. So as Graham had suggested is, to ask them whether they do that type of sculpture, because they do specialize in bronze, but they do so many different art projects that I'm assuming that that's something that they can do. So I'll contact them today and see, what their, as far as what that is, and then how much it would cost to add that to our, maintenance agreement.
Okay, and you said the city maintains the grass.
Yes.
So is the city on the schedule to monitor that grass?
They should be. I will check with James about that on a schedule.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Sure.
And Mr. Archie, when he was here the last time, he asked for his family pictures to be removed. Have they been removed?
Yes.
They have? Okay. And last but not least, the Rudy project, the mural had got damaged,
Yes.
so.
Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to mention that. Yes, I talked to Mark about that, and I asked him, because it is insured, can we go ahead and get it replaced? He said he would like us to wait until after hurricane season and everything, because there's so much rain and everything. He's afraid that if they take it off and it just gets a lot of moisture on it, because that was one of the problems with it before, when they were doing the Rudy celebration, is like they had painted it, and then, it doesn't adhere as much. It's got the paint and everything, the building has got to be cured. So he thought it might be better just to wait until like November, until after the rainy season and everything is over, and hopefully, hurricanes, that we go ahead and remove it then and reapply it. And so the city would cover that cost through insurance.
Okay.
Good question. Thank you. I forgot about that.
Dawn, back to you.
Yes, I forgot. So when we were talking about the checklist and all that kind of stuff, and we're also talking about different people getting involved, I thought it would be really cool if we could talk about making a PSA video about how our committee works, or maybe, citywide, but specifically for us, how the committee works, where you can watch the meetings, how you can make comments, and how you can get involved. And just like a quick, like a TikTok video, just has some fun stuff, just encouraging people to, there is a place for you to get involved and all that kind of stuff, but just having it like a quick fun PSA. And what really made me think of it was Graham talking about his, the theater, and, you guys know some actors and all that kind of stuff. So it might be kind of fun to get something together.
That would have to be done specifically through the city, and that would be a call for, the IT and all them. We don't have I don't have the facilities to do videos and things like that. I have this.
Right. Yeah.
And so do you. So,
Right.
you guys could,
I mean, I'm not talking about anything super produced. I'm talking about very,
I think we'd have to
pretty
get
real,
it
but-
approved because, you're sending out something on behalf of the city.
Right.
So it has to, fit in certain parameters and probably regulations, but it's a nice idea. I mean, but it's like, that I just would have to get it approved, whatever, if you wanted to create a script or something,
okay.
and, an idea, storyboard behind it, I could get it approved.
Okay. So if I just, before, like a week or so before next meeting, if I just send you a proposal with the outline and,
That'd be super.
okay.
Thank you, Don.
Dr. Graham?
I think that's a great idea. We, all the committees need volunteers, so if all of them did it, it'd be either a complete waste of time or it might be helpful. You never know. And I think this would be helpful. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to. Last month, you said you were going to ask the city attorney about the PAC artist contract. You're going to ask him to review it.
Yes.
Did you?
Thank you. Yes. I actually talked to the new city attorney's office last week, and they had question and answers for us. Megan and I were both on that Zoom call. They do have our contract, and they are reviewing it, and they're in the process of making edits.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yes. Mhm.
And I had asked you about using the good offices of Tarpon Arts for recording artist comments, and
That
I'm
would
going to
be
guess.
you. Since you're a theater person, I think you could probably handle that project very
Yeah,
well.
after you said something to Dawn, I thought, yeah, I know where that's going. So, okay, I'll just do that then.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks, Graham.
thank you.
Okay, I'm pretty good, so I'm going to, Juliana, do you have any comments? Wait, I just have one more suggestion. I think we all need caffeine before these meetings.
Oh, exactly.
Breaking in between to do some legs exercise, get them back alive, okay? I just want to, I was here really supporting Jamie because I'm with the Parks and Recreation Committee. So I was just really here supporting him if he needed, because we did discuss the project. So that's all I have.
Okay, cool. Okay, great.
It's been a neat project.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, unless anything else comes up, our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, September 11th at 2 p.m. Quite an interesting
Oh,
date.
really?
And meeting's adjourned at 3:27 p.m. Thank you all very much for all your hard work on these
A lot of
projects.
very exciting things going to be happening.
Yes, there
Oh.
are.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty soon after that, we'll be broke.
Well, that's the purpose of
thinking
this,
that.
right?
Yeah, we're supposed to spend it.
Get new
Supposed to.
budget, so it'll come back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I did put,